93 days. That is the average American household's food supply if the stores stopped restocking tomorrow.
93 days sounds like a lot, until you realize FEMA's own minimum recommendation is 3 days. Most cities carry less than 72 hours of grocery inventory at any given moment. And the last time a major supply chain actually snapped, people in New Orleans were eating from dumpsters inside of a week. Here are 15 items that change that math. Fast. Cheap. All of them available today. When Hurricane Katrina hit the Gulf Coast in 2005, New Orleans did not lose power for a few hours. It lost everything: water, grid, supply chain, for weeks. FEMA's own after-action report logged 1,800 deaths, and grocery shelves were bare before the storm even made landfall. Same thing, Texas, February 2021. Winter Storm Uri knocked out power for 4.5 million households. Some were dark for 4 days, some longer. People burned furniture to stay warm. The USDA says 40% of all food in this country is wasted under normal conditions. Normal. Which means the system has zero margin when something actually breaks. The expensive fix, a full underground bunker, starts at $50,000. The real fix is a shelf, a few $100s, and what I am about to walk you through. Here's what the gear channels will not put in the title. One item on this list costs about $8 for 100 of them. You drop them into a sealed container and they do something that used to take industrial equipment. They pull every molecule of oxygen out of your stored food and lock it against rot, mold, and insects for up to 25 years. I am saving it for the end on purpose. Every other item on this list buys you weeks. That one buys you decades. Name the vacuum seal machine that does that for $8. Real quick, then I'll leave it alone. Everything I've picked up behind that counter, how to build a real shelf without spending like a fool, I put it all down in one guide over at survivordoomsday.com. It's there if you want it, that's all. Back to the list. I'm Rhett Callahan. I run projects at a custom rifle shop outside Knoxville. I live around people who plan for the days the grid does not cooperate. I got serious about this the summer our transformer blew, and I spent 2 days watching my freezer sweat while my kids ate dry cereal for dinner. I did not go buy a gadget. I went and read the after-action reports. I'm here to make you ready, not scared. Here is where we are going. 15 items, built in layers. Calorie base first, then protein, then the tools that make everything last. Some of these you have heard. A couple you have not. And the last one is the $8 trick. The question is not whether you have some food in the house right now. It is. On day 31, when the shelves have been bare for 3 weeks and your neighbors are starting to knock on doors, do you still have enough to feed the people depending on you? Once you see it that way, you cannot unsee it. Let us get to work. Item 15, white rice. You are on day 8. The freezer ran dry on day 3. The bread went stale on day 5. And your family has gone quiet at dinner. That low-grade irritability, the slow headache. That is caloric deficit, and it comes on faster than most people expect. If you do not have a dense, shelf-stable calorie base, everything else in your pantry is seasoning. The 2020 pandemic proved it in real time. Rice was the first item to vanish off grocery shelves. Before eggs, before meat, before anything. People knew, even if they could not explain why. A 25-pound bag of white rice runs $18 at Sam's Club or Costco. Sealed correctly, it stores for 25 to 30 years. 300 calories per cooked cup. Buy 2 bags this weekend. That is 200 servings for $36. Name the freeze-dried meal kit that does 200 servings for $36. Item 14, dried pinto beans. Here's the problem with a rice-only stockpile. Rice has almost no protein, and protein is what keeps people functional, not just alive, but sharp. Without it, you see muscle weakness inside 2 weeks. Slow thinking. Kids get sick faster and stay sick longer. Dried pinto beans paired with rice form a complete protein, every essential amino acid your body needs. Your granddad knew this. People knew this for 1,000 years before protein powder existed. A 20-pound bag of dried pinto beans is $20 at Walmart. Shelf life, 8 to 10 years standard. 30 or more when you seal them right. And yes, we are getting to exactly how to do that. Pick up 2 bags, $40. 2 months of protein foundation for a family. Done. Item 13, canned tuna and canned chicken. Beans need to soak overnight and cook for an hour. Some days you will not have that fuel or that time. That is what canned protein is for. Ready to eat, no prep, no fire needed. After Hurricane Maria hit Puerto Rico in 2017, some areas went without stable power for 11 months. 11. Families with canned goods ate. Families with only refrigerated food watched everything rot in the first 4 hours. A case of canned tuna runs $30 to $36 at Walmart. A case of canned chicken runs $60 to $70. Buy one of each. That is 48 protein meals you can open cold. Right now, no stove required. Item 12, iodized salt. 3 weeks in, something subtle starts going wrong. Fatigue that does not clear. Brain fog. A thyroid that is quietly protesting. That is iodine deficiency, one of the most common nutritional failures in long-term emergencies, and one of the easiest to prevent. Before iodized salt reached the United States in 1924, goiter was epidemic across the inland states. They called the Great Lakes region the goiter belt. A 10-cent solution fixed it. Salt also preserves meat, fish, vegetables. Before refrigeration, it was currency. It still is when the grid goes down. A 4-pound canister is $1.50 at Walmart. Shelf life, indefinite, kept dry. Buy 10 canisters, $15 total. Store them in a sealed bucket. Item 11, honey. Honey is one of 3 foods archaeologists have pulled from Egyptian tombs, still perfectly edible after 3,000 years. The other 2 were wine and olive oil. But honey does something they cannot. It is antimicrobial. A wound packed with raw honey heals faster and resists infection. Not folk medicine, what field medics used before antibiotics. It also stores indefinitely. Crystallized honey is not bad. Warm the jar gently and it flows again. And on a hard stretch, a spoonful of honey and oatmeal is the difference between a meal that feels survivable and one that feels like punishment. A 5-pound container of raw honey runs $22 to $25 at Costco. 1 container. Done. Item 10, rolled oats. After 2 weeks of rice and beans with nothing else, fiber becomes a medical issue, and not a minor one. Rolled oats fix that. 380 calories per dry cup. Cooks in 5 minutes on almost any heat source. Tastes like something a person actually chose to eat. During the Great Depression, oatmeal was not a breakfast food. It was a survival staple that families stretched across entire days. A 25-pound bulk bag from Restaurant Depot or a restaurant supply store runs $18 to $22. Over 200 servings. Seal it in a food-grade bucket with a gamma lid. Done. Item 9, cooking oil. Fat is the most calorie-dense thing you can store. 9 calories per gram compared to 4 for carbohydrates or protein. In a real emergency, fat keeps people warm from the inside, provides sustained energy, and makes the rest of your pantry actually cookable. Without it, your body starts burning its own muscle tissue inside a few days. Oil also doubles as a lamp fuel and a leather conditioner. It earns its shelf space twice. A 1-gallon jug of vegetable oil runs $8 to $10 at Walmart. A 5-pound tub of coconut oil is $20 at Costco and lasts longer open. 2 gallons of vegetable oil and 1 tub of coconut oil. $36 total. You are still here. Most people clicked off 3 items ago to go back to trusting a wall socket in a grocery store that has never once been closed when they needed it. That right there already puts you ahead of most of your street. 6 more, and the $8 trick I have been holding since minute 1. Item 8, apple cider vinegar. Roman legions carried vinegar in clay amphorae across Europe. They used it to clean wounds, preserve food, and sanitize water. The reason it worked then is the same reason it works now. Acetic acid kills most bacteria on contact and stops mold before it starts. In a grid-down scenario, your ability to preserve food without refrigeration and clean a wound without a clinic becomes critical inside the first week. A gallon of apple cider vinegar is $7 to $9 at Walmart. Shelf life, Indefinite, kept sealed. Buy 3 gallons, $27. One for the kitchen, one for the first aid kit, one in reserve. Item 7. Water purification tablets and a Sawyer mini filter. You can survive 3 weeks without food. You cannot make it 3 days without clean water. And in a real grid-down event, the water coming out of your tap may not be safe within 48 hours. Winter Storm Uri, Texas, 2021. Over 12,000 water main breaks recorded in a single storm. Millions of households under boil water advisories for days. Some had no water at all. Water purification tablets, $8 for 50 at any sporting goods store. A Sawyer mini filter, $25 at Walmart in the outdoor section. Filters up to 100,000 gallons. Buy both. Tablets for the short stretch, Sawyer for the long game. $33 total. 2 is 1, 1 is none. Item 6. Multivitamins. Even a well-stocked pantry develops gaps when you are eating from the same shelf day after day. After 2 weeks of pantry eating, vitamin C deficiency starts. After 4 weeks, others compound on top of it. Scurvy, a vitamin C deficiency disease, killed more sailors in the Age of Exploration than battle did. We have known how to prevent it for centuries. A 365-count bottle of one-a-day multivitamins is $22 at Costco. 1 year of nutritional insurance for the price of a fast food run. Buy 2, $44. Item 5. Powdered milk. If you have children or elderly adults in your household, this item is not optional. Calcium and vitamin D are hard to replicate from a shelf-stable pantry alone, and children especially need consistent calcium for bone development. A week without dairy sources starts to show up in ways you do not want to deal with mid-crisis. Powdered milk reconstitutes with just water. It bakes, it makes oatmeal tolerable, and it adds protein to anything cooked. The 25.6-ounce can of Nestle Carnation Dry Whole Milk is $15 at Walmart. Shelf life, 2 to 10 years standard. Longer, sealed with oxygen absorbers. Start with 2 cans, $30. Scale up for your family size. Item 4. Hard candy and a few comfort items. This is the item most survival channels skip because it does not look serious. That is a mistake. In a prolonged emergency, morale is a survival factor, not a luxury. People who feel like they are only grinding through stop making clear decisions. Small things matter. A piece of hard candy, a cup of instant coffee, a bar of chocolate. These are mental health tools dressed up as food. Hard candy also solves a real problem. Blood sugar crashes under stress, creates slow reaction time, poor judgment, and anxiety. Hard candy is fast correction, cheap and portable. A 5-pound bag of hard candy at Costco, $12. A can of instant coffee, $10. A box of dark chocolate, $8. Call it $30 for the morale layer, worth every cent on day 21. Item 3. 2 manual can openers. You have 30 cans of tuna, 40 cans of beans, and 20 cans of chicken. The grid is down. The electric opener is a paperweight. You reach for the manual one, cheap pressed tin, and it bends on a 50-cent can. Now you are sitting on hundreds of dollars of food you cannot open. 2 is 1, 1 is none. This is the rule that anyone who has lived through a real supply disruption learns exactly once. An OXO Good Grips manual can opener is $17 at Walmart or Target. Commercial kitchen grade. Buy 2. 1 in the stockpile, 1 in the junk drawer. $34. Name the battery-powered opener you trust when the batteries are dead. Item 2. 5-gallon buckets with Gamma Seal lids. Everything on this list is only as good as what you store it in. Rice exposed to air and humidity degrades inside a year. Beans attract pests. Oats go rancid. If the container fails, the contents fail, and you find out when it matters most. The Gamma Seal lid creates an airtight spin-off seal you can open and close daily without a mallet and without breaking the seal. The standard snap-on bucket lid is not airtight. That difference matters on a long timeline. A food-grade 5-gallon bucket runs $6 to $8 at Home Depot or Tractor Supply. A Gamma lid is $9 to $11 on Amazon or at Tractor Supply. 6 complete sets, $90. 6 buckets holds the bulk of this entire list. The container pays for everything else on the shelf. Done. Final reveal. Item 1.
All right, the $8 trick I have been holding since minute 1. Here it is, and once you see it, you will understand why everything else on this list is downstream of this one. Oxygen absorbers. Little iron packets about the size of a sugar packet that you drop into a sealed container before you close the lid. The same technology commercial food companies use to extend shelf life, except you can buy 100 of them on Amazon for $8. Here is the mechanism, and I want you to understand why it works, not just that it does. The iron in the absorber oxidizes, it rusts, and in rusting, it consumes the free oxygen inside the sealed container. Pull the oxygen out, and you have eliminated the primary cause of food degradation, oxidation. You have also created an environment where no insect can survive and no mold can grow. Not because of chemicals, because there is nothing left to breathe. White rice, sealed 5-gallon bucket, 2 oxygen absorbers, tested viable and nutritious for 25 to 30 years. Dried beans, same result.
100 pack on Amazon, $8. 2 packs to be safe, $16 total. That is 30 years of storage integrity on a $36 bag of rice.
Name the vacuum seal machine that does that. I couldn't either. $16, 30 years, done. I will be straight with you. Most of you will never face a 6-month blackout or a full supply chain collapse. Odds are in your favor, and I hope they stay there. But most is not all. And the complete stack I just walked you through runs under $350 for a family of 4. So here is what you do before you go to bed tonight. 3 moves, 30 minutes. Tonight, go to your pantry and count how many actual days of food you have. Not what you think, count it. Write the number down. If that number is under 30, you already know what the priority is. That is job 1. Next time you're at Walmart or Costco, grab a 25-pound bag of white rice and a 20-pound bag of dried pinto beans. $38. Calorie base and protein foundation, both done. That is job 2. This weekend, pick up 4 5-gallon buckets with gamma lids from Tractor Supply or Home Depot, and 200 packs of oxygen absorbers on Amazon. Under $110. Seal everything. That is job 3. Under $150, one afternoon. You just went from grid dependent to grid prepared. Not scared, ready. Ready beats scared every single time. Drop me a comment. Which one are you doing first? The rice and beans run, the bucket and lid setup, or the oxygen absorbers? Tell me where you are starting. And tell me the old school one I left off. There is always something your granddad or grandmother knew that did not make this list. Maybe it is a root cellar trick. Maybe it is a canning method. I read every one. Do me one favor. Send this to one person. The one whose family you would hate to see going through a rough week without a plan. Not for me, for them. Takes 10 seconds. Next video, how to defend your home without turning it into a military compound. Practical moves, cheap tools, no drama. Subscribe so it lands before you need it. Shoot straight, keep your powder dry.